Hi, I'm Jeffrey Thomas from Daily Airline News, bringing you another episode in my crazy aviation journey, a book that has recently been completed and will be available on Amazon very soon. This episode is about how I missed a trip on the Concorde. And you may well ask, how is it possible that an aviation journalist misses out on a trip on the Concorde? Well, let me tell you. It started back in 1989. British Airways was conducting a round the world charter, and they had a couple of spare seats on this round the world charter, which went across Australia. And the local manager for public relations for British Airways at that time, Darcy Farrell, rang me on a Monday morning and said, Jeffrey, we've got the Concorde coming in this Saturday. And I said, yes, Darcy, know all about that, and I'll be out there to take some photos of it. And he said, well, we can do a little bit better than that. How would you like to go for a fly? And I thought, oh dear, oh my God, yeah, absolutely, you bet. And he said, we thought so. And we've actually made your tickets out already, and they're down at the William Street office in Perth. So come on down and collect them. And he said, let me tell you what's going to happen. He said, you'll fly out with the Concorde on Saturday afternoon. It's flying to Sri Lanka, and we'll then overnight you in Sri Lanka and put you up at the Hilton Hotel. And then the next day, we're going to fly you first class British Airways to Singapore, where we're going to overnight you at the Raffles Hotel. And then we're going to fly you first class back to Perth. And I thought, this is my trip. This is me. There's no low cost budget airline stuff. This is absolutely first class all the way. I absolutely can't wait. So no sooner had I hung up the phone to Darcy, I picked up my phone to my then wife, Annie, and we're still very good friends. We chat all the time and catch up. So really good friends. And I started my spiel to, tell her about this phenomenal journey I was going to go on. But there was nothing coming back the other way. There was no excitement like, oh my God, GT, how wonderful for you. I'm so happy. There's nothing like that at all. And when I'd finished my spiel, my sales pitch, if you like, there was a silence. And then Annie said, when will you be back? And I said, well, Tuesday, Wednesday, who cares? And she said, what about Nikki's fifth birthday? And it was our son, Nicholas, our youngest son, who was having his fifth birthday on the Sunday. And we'd invited around all the rellies and friends for this momentous occasion. And the problem is the Concorde has the ability to wipe your memory clean of any obligations, any responsibility, any sort of thoughts of doing the right thing. Concorde does that, let me tell you. And I said, oh dear, I guess I'm not going to go. And so I didn't go. I rang Darcy Farrell back and told him, I said, look, sorry, I completely forgot. I got a family obligation. I can't go. So the trip went to another colleague. And, my son, Nick, is a computer technician and builds computers and has a fairly large customer base. And I give this speech, you see, to various groups all around the place in Perth as part of a wider presentation. And people say when Nick goes to see them about a computer problem, he is greeted by Nick Thomas. Are you the Nick Thomas that stopped his father going on the Concorde? He said, yep, I'm the one. So he is forever branded as the person who stopped me going on the Concorde. But I always thought I'd get another opportunity to go on the Concorde, but it actually never came to pass. There was a few near misses, but no, I didn't get the chance. But British Airways did invite me to the final Concorde flights when three Concordes came in from, I think it was one from New York, one from Washington, and I'm not sure where the other one came from, into Heathrow. They were all sequenced in together. I was there for that, and it was a really fabulous occasion and a fond farewell to an incredible aeroplane, a masterpiece of engineering. But yeah, it was one of those things. I've been on board the Concorde, as many of you have. They're in museums all around the world, and it's a very claustrophobic aircraft, actually. It's not nearly as glamorous as you would think. It's the speed that was the glamour, and the fact that you'd be rubbing shoulders with the rich and famous, and Paul McCartney might be on board and sing "All My Loving to You" or "Yesterday" or something like that, or Phil Collins or whatever. That was the allure. It was the rich and famous. It was the status. It wasn't the comfort. So that was my Concorde story. Um, so the next episode on my crazy aviation journey is going to be how I became Australia's first male flight attendant in the modern era. And that's an interesting little saga as well. So please do subscribe to us. Please join us. We'd love to have your support. There's some membership benefits, different categories. So please have a look at that and consider that. Please keep those wonderful comments coming. They're chicken soup for the soul. We do love them, do appreciate them. And keep those great questions coming too. They're fantastic and we do appreciate them very much. So I look forward to your company again on the next little episode in GT's crazy aviation journey. Take care.